This man never expected to find a baby girl in the middle of the forest, but he did. And years later, that little girl Annie grew up to become an S-rank hunter in the big city. Still, all Annie ever thought about was going back home just to cuddle up to her dad. She loved him more than anything. What she didn't know was that her dad, Kevin, was actually way stronger than she was. But back when Kevin first started out as an adventurer, he ran into a demon lord level monster. It shattered his leg, and ever since then, he assumed he wasn't cut out for that life. So he quietly returned to his village to live in peace. One day, while out gathering herbs, Kevin suddenly heard a baby crying deep in the woods. Confused and a little on edge, he carefully followed the sound, and sure enough, there was a baby girl lying there alone. Worried that her cries would attract wild animals, he gently picked her up and tried to calm her down. The moment their eyes met, the baby stopped crying. Right then and there, Kevin decided to raise her as his own. He gave her the name Annie. 12 years flew by. Annie had grown into a strong young girl, and Kevin decided it was time to teach her his sword skills. Annie was super talented, but she had a big weakness: she kept falling for feints and openings too easily. Kevin tried to explain that she needed to focus on her opponent's movements, but Annie wasn't listening at all. Instead, she started whining and clinging to him playfully. Kevin couldn't resist her sweet smile and let her rub her face against his scruffy beard. That night, after dinner, Annie offered to wash the dishes. It was her last night at home. The next morning, she'd be heading off to the big city. Kevin was heartbroken. He never imagined his little girl would choose to be an adventurer, just like he once had. The next day, Annie left for the city. And just like that, 5 years passed. Now, Annie was a full-fledged adventurer. That day, she and her team were in the middle of taking down a flying dragon. With flawless teamwork, the three of them brought it down in no time.
あれが噂に聞く S ランク冒険者黒髪の戦乙女 Anjali!
Annie was thrilled, but her excitement didn't come from the victory or the praise. It was because she finally had time off, and she could finally go home to see Kevin again.